And Jonathan Alter's on the line with us right now, so I'm going to take a screeching turn here in topic. And Jonathan, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Tom?
Just great. Newsweek.com. Jonathan, the award-winning Newsweek columnist and author of The Defining Moment, FDR's 100 Days and the Triumph of Hope, a brilliant book. And, Jonathan, your thoughts on the 100 days. You write in your book, actually, about the 100 days being kind of a symbolic, not just even symbolic. I forget the phrase. I'm sorry. I read it this morning and marked it up, and I've lost that piece of paper now. But that first 100 days is sort of a window into what's coming beyond it.
Yeah, it isn't a guarantee of future success, but it gives you some idea. Sure, it's artificial, but it gives you some idea of whether a new president has the tools done, and whether he's capable of working closely enough with Congress to put points on the board. A lot of people thought that Barack Obama was just a big talker. People said the same thing about Franklin Roosevelt. Yep. And then when they got in there, they started scoring, and this is what it's about. It's legislation that changes people's lives, at least on the domestic side. On the foreign policy side, it's much more reactive. You have to kind of, deal with whatever somebody else puts on your plate. But in foreign policy, in domestic policy, you can take the initiative much more. And both Roosevelt and Obama have pursued what Roosevelt called an action and action now approach to governing.
Jonathan Alter, I'm curious your thoughts on the difference between Roosevelt and Obama in terms of the time when they were sworn into office. Roosevelt had several more months than Obama did that he knew he was going to be president to prepare for his presidency. So his 100 days arguably was much longer than 100 days, was it not?
Well, yeah, except Roosevelt was a worse planner than Obama. It was much more seat of the pants. One of Roosevelt's aides said that to say that the New Deal was a plan would be like saying that a little boy's bedroom strewn with old baseball bats and broken chemistry sets had all been put there by an interior decorator, So he didn't really plan very much. The big difference, and there are an awful lot of similarities, as we know, the big difference is that today we are trying to keep a recession from turning into a depression. And at that time, we were mired at the very, very bottom of the Great Depression. We had a stock market that was down 90%. Unemployment was 25%, and that didn't even include women. So more than 3 times what it is today. Right. And so Roosevelt's challenge was to restore faith in the entire system, which was on the line then. People had given up on capitalism and democracy. It's hard for us to imagine, but the word dictator had a positive connotation, and there was even a car that Studebaker sold called the Dictator that sold well.
Oh, there were open calls for fascism at that point in
Absolutely.
time. Mussolini was viewed as a hero. Hitler was a rising novelty, and there were calls for communism. I mean, he was walking down a middle road in the United States between these two very, very extreme poles that were both just fine to discuss in mainstream discourse. I'm wondering, we just have a minute left, Jonathan, I'm wondering your thoughts about the poles between which Barack Obama is walking today and where he's going to end up.
Well, I think he's under some pressure from the left on things like moving for more accountability on torture, at a minimum having some kind of a torture commission if there are no prosecutions, which doesn't look like they're going to be. And so he needs to be careful that his base on the left doesn't feel like he's trimming too much in order to get his main agenda through. And then the other, I don't think he's going to come under very much pressure from the right. They make a lot of noise, but I don't think they have much power anymore in our country, which is a generally positive development. Where I do think the pressure is going to be is on health care. So Does he go for half a loaf or the whole thing?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's going to be a very, very interesting time, and I think it's going to tell us a lot about Barack Obama. Jonathan Alter, Newsweek.com, of course, but even more important, his book, The Defining Moment, FDR's 100 Days and the Triumph of Hope. Jonathan, thanks. Keep up the great work, sir.
Thanks, Tom. Great talking to you.
Good talking with you, too. 27 minutes past the hour.